Yay! Hi, friends. Sorry, let me get my water. How are you? It has been a minute. I hope y'all are doing well. It's Friday. That's never a bad thing. Excuse me. I'm in New York, which has been fun. I lived here for like 15 years. It's a long time. Not too long ago, before I moved to Houston. So I've been in Houston for about 3.5 years. And it's been good being back. The last time I was here was 2019, the before times. And it was like really overwhelming when I came back. I just wasn't used to like the sounds and the stimulus and not having a car. It's like, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, like if you've lived somewhere and like lived somewhere else that's like very different, like how quickly you become unaccustomed to something like, taking the subway. And like, I mean, y'all, I am so winded walking up subway stairs now, like so winded. It's a thing. I'm like, how did I do this for 50? Really good. I've been seeing friends who I haven't seen obviously in a minute, just with this whole panini going on. So it's been good. How are y'all? Chat in. If you're on Facebook with me, just remember I can't see your name if you chat in unless you give me access on StreamYard. If you don't want to do all that, that's fine. Just like say your name in the comments so I can say hi and shout you out. I hope you guys are all doing well. So our topic for today's live is fall wearable trends. And you're like, fall? What? I know. So it's fall, y'all. It's not really. But in the fashion world, it is, right? So we're seeing fall stuff start to hit stores. I really like this time of year. I like when the seasons change in the department store. I think it's fun where you're like, ooh, it just kind of invokes like what I could be wearing if it wasn't 112 degrees in Houston. So I like fall fashion. I like fall fashion a lot. Not being on the Northeast anymore means like I get the fall fashion without the cold, which I really enjoy. It does get cold enough in Houston to actually wear fall things. Like it'll get down to like the 30s or 20s. Not for long, right? But it does. Usually it's like around the 40s, which is like perfect for like you can bundle up a little, but you're not like chattering your teeth out, which I think is great. So that's that. Oh, hi, Laura. Laura says, I got soft post NY too. I know, right? Like we move out of New York and it's like, these conveniences are awful nice. It's also weird. I mean, I digress, but like, y'all, like the city is so empty now. I think a lot of people like moved out just with like the whole like panorama that we're having. So it's actually been kind of nice to be like out in New York without like constantly like elbowing your way past people. But yeah, the subway stairs are threatening to just level me. Like, it's a wonder I make it out of there. Okay. So fall wearable trends, a couple of things. The Nordstrom sale, did y'all shop the sale? I hope you did. If you're on my email list, you got my catalog of Nordstrom picks. So I went through over, when all is said and done, like over about 2,500 items. That's right, one by one, and picked out my favorites that I thought would really help y'all get dressed this fall, I mean, and beyond, right? And put those together in a catalog. So if you're on my email list, you've got that. If you're not on my email list, what are you doing? Go to brandeisnicole.com, and if you scroll to the bottom, there's something that says join the style party, and you'll get added to my email list there. So y'all got that, which was like super fun. If you already have that catalog, alert, I'm going to be refreshing later today with new items. So there's 2 days left to shop the sale. I know a ton sold out. So if you have my catalog or if you're about to get it, brandeisnicole.com, scroll to the bottom, join the style party, give me your name and your email, and I will send you that catalog. I'm going to refresh. So I'm going to actually be adding a ton of new items that are not sold out. So hold on to your hats, folks. If you are not on my email list, but you're like, Brandy, I want things. Wearable trends today, all picked from the Nordstrom sale, but like they'll be wearable whether or not you get them at Nordstrom. But I'm also on Like to Know It. Like to Know It is a shopping platform where influencers, y'all. I don't know who I'm influencing, but we'll just call it that. We'll just say within the family, right? Within the style family, I like sharing stuff with y'all. So you can go on there. I'll actually put the site here. So if you go there, you can actually shop my posts. So I've done one post each for the 3 trends we're going to talk about today. So if you go to liketoknow.it/Brandeis Nicole, or you can just go to Like to Know It and search Brandeis Nicole, you'll find collages for the 3 trends that we're going to talk about today. And then you can actually click through to the links. It's completely free for you. I get a small commission. I want to be upfront about that. And then you can shop to your heart's content. Okay, so let's talk about these trends. Trend is one of those things, right, where people are some people hate the thought of trend. Some people are like, I'm very classic, I just don't do trend. Other people are like, give me all the trend, right? What I love so much about trend is no matter where you are on the spectrum, you can make it work for you if you want. It is a choice. I think a lot of times we feel pressure to participate in trends, right? It's like, well, everyone else is wearing it. Am I supposed to be wearing this? So number one, remember, so much of this has to do with your body type, right? Your body shape, which I teach. We're actually having a ton of fun already in my style course, Getting Dressed Again. I've got a great group of women in there, and I'm teaching them all about all the body shape and fit things. So that's super fun. But so when you know about your body shape, it actually helps you to figure out which trends are going to look better on you. But even that said, there's always a way to participate in a trend in some way, shape, or fashion, if that's what you want to do, even if it's not the literal translation of I don't know, a shirt with a giant bow on it or something, if that's not your thing. But there's usually some way in an accessory or a color or a shoe or some way for you to participate if you want to. So 1, think about your body shape and what's going to be flattering on you. 2, don't discount yourself of I'm not a trend person. Sometimes trends are for people, sometimes they're not. It's okay. And if you're feeling, you just don't want to participate in a trend, then don't. It's also trends, okay? Things that I think, no matter where you are in that trend spectrum, you'd be like, oh, I can get into this, right? Well, I'll let you be the judge of that. All right, y'all. So I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to go through some of these trends. Get ready. Very exciting. Yeah, I feel like we're all so Zoom. We all have so much Zooming that goes on. When someone's like, I'm going to share my screen, we're immediately like, I know, this is going to take a minute. God bless you. Okay. So our first trend, do I want to talk about this one first? You know what? I don't. Hold, please. Let's actually talk about these guys. So long cardigans, okay? So I have, I'll actually show you guys what my catalog looks like so you can see it. This is, again, if you're on my email list, you get this. So I go through and I make comments. I tell you who should be wearing things, who shouldn't, if it's a good price point for that item or not. I do regular, I do petite, I do plus. Everybody wins. It's a good time. All right, so let's get back to the first trend. So I'm calling this cozy and casual, okay? It's not like it's ever gone out of style, right? But what we're seeing is with the world kind of sort of opening back up, but it's also being like, what in the world am I supposed to wear as a person in the world? Comfort is still a big thing, right? So everybody's been wearing joggers at home, for a year and change. And so now, even though people are maybe starting to go back into offices or we're seeing other people again, I think a lot of society has retained this sense of that elastic waistband was awesome, right? I don't know if I want to go all the way back. And so we're seeing from a trend perspective, a lot of comfort is still very much what's being put out there in terms of the trends that we're seeing. Not all, right? But that's definitely an element where designers know their consumers, right? So you're still seeing, whether it's texture or material or elasticized waist or, just different ways for people to be like, oh, I can be comfortable in this even if I'm kind of getting dressed again, right? So these cozy casual layers is definitely part of that. So I want to talk to you about a few things. I should also say I'm going to do a breakdown of each one of the 3 over the next few weeks, right? In terms of what to wear it with, what to pair it with. But today I want to give you an overview of the 3 trends so that if you are shopping the sale, you're like, is this for me? Is this not for me? Long cardigans. Here's the thing, people, with a long cardigan. You really have to understand where a long cardigan is supposed to hit on you, okay? There's a whole formula for that. Not going to get into it now. It's something I teach my clients. It's something I teach my students. So if it's something you're interested in learning about, take a workshop with me. Think about like if you want to do one-on-one, etc. But so you really want to be thinking about like how long is too long. You don't want to be like swallowed up by it, right? In general, you want to make sure that that longest point is not hitting you at one of your wider. So think about length a lot. Other thing you want to think about is structure, okay? So I can look at a cardigan and know whether or not it's structured enough for me. Meaning, let's see if I can find a good example. Oh, that's one of my favorites. That Madewell Kent, y'all, it's just like the best, the best. Let me see. These are all actually pretty good. So I'll tell you what I'm looking at or for. There are some cardigans, none of these are doing it, which is great. But when you look at them, let's look at this Treasure and Bond one on the right side of the screen. It's open, right? So we call this a boyfriend style cardigan or an open front cardigan. Sometimes you'll have the bottom of it start to curl in, right? So the bottom of the cardigan itself kind of starts like fold in on itself or like curl a lot. Usually for me, that means it's too thin and I'm not going to get the structure that I want. So that's something I'd say just to be careful of, like make sure that like there's enough kind of like weight and heft to an open front cardigan where because otherwise it'll start to look sloppy. If the pockets kind of like just like do this like limp situation, also not good. The pockets should look like pockets on the front of the cardigan. So that's just a couple things to note. But yeah, so we've got some different styles here. Not all these are long. I guess I should say that. Oh, here's a good example. I can't do this. You may be able to do it. I'd say it's risky though. Like see how thin it is? This halogen one on the right. It's not like a never, but typically when you're trying to look polished and pulled together, something like this that is very, very thin might have a tendency to kind of just like, I don't know, it just doesn't like stand up. So it could be okay, but I feel like all of your other layers have to be like really, really polished. And sometimes even if they are, the look of this will still drag that down, which is, I mean, it's a gorgeous color. I'm not saying don't buy it, y'all, or don't try it, but it's just something to be aware of. So you can see even here, right, in the lapel, that might start to curl in. It's just not going to look as polished. Same thing actually with this guy, this navy one. This would be a nightmare for me and for a lot of my clients, right? It just kind of like folds in on itself. It's just not the best. Versus Homegirl in the middle, that, see how like the edges of that are just sharper and cleaner? That's what we're looking for. So there's your open front cardigan situation. There's a lot of them. I'm also really digging the like cropped cardigan situation with the V-neck, always a V-neck. Crew necks are very hard. I'm like, oh, like, I don't know, y'all, like 90% of people, like, please stop wearing crew neck cardigans. It is difficult for you. So these open neck ones are usually great on everyone. The other thing that I would say is like the bathrobe look, right? Like this one in the middle, like, please don't. Just don't do it. Just walk away, okay? Walk away. Like there's just, I mean, that is just a rough look to try and like make it look like you left your house and like actually remembered to get dressed. If you're going to bathrobe, it's a big if, you got to go full on committed. Okay. I'm talking like outside printed pajamas that like kind of look like a suit, right? Because they're like printed on top and bottom and you got like a cute shoe on. Or I'm talking like flared jeans, cute, like white tee, and then your, bathrobe where it's like this whole situation underneath is like very intense. Maybe you have like a half tuck, like very intentional, very cute on its own. And then you're like, oh yeah, sometimes I just put on this bathrobe and like it's fine, right? My point being, if you just like throw this bathrobe on over like whatever outfit, you will look like you slept in your clothing. Like it's just going to happen. So an abundance of caution for anything that is A, this long, and B, anything duster, right? Sometimes we call those kimonos. I try not to use that word because it feels a little appropriative if it's like not really a kimono, but so we call them dusters. But yeah, like this particular like super cozy cardigan look that's just like so like it's a bathrobe. Please stop. I will get off my soapbox about bathrobes. Okay. So hopefully this gives you guys some ideas. The Barefoot Dreams line is so soft. If you don't have a Barefoot Dreams cardigan, I suggest you get into one. My caution here is stop doing anything that has this tie self belt. So we are not getting this barefoot card. It's just, y'all, it's dated. We all did this in like, I don't know, 2007. Like it's just not a thing that we're doing right now. You can belt a cardigan with a different belt. It's a lot of work. Again, an open cardigan is just going to give you a much more modern silhouette. The self belt thing, looks a little bit like a bathrobe. It just looks sloppy. Like, I'm sorry, like she looks sloppy and I'm sure she's a lovely person. Okay. So stop doing that. Don't tie it. If it has ties, just leave them. We don't need 2021. We don't need. All right. So there's your cozy layers. Let me check the comments real quick. Okay. Looks like y'all are doing good. Okay, so next what I'm going to show you is just so you can take a look. So this is my Like to Know It page. So when you go on Like to Know It, you go to me, Brandeis Nicole, and I've got, let me actually refresh this because I put up a few more so you guys can see what they are. So I've got my collages here. They're all shoppable. So when you go to Cozy Casual Layers, for instance, here they all are, right? So these are the ones I pinned for you from the end sale. These are all in stock as of right now. So lots to choose from, lots of different styles. The trend here is like cozy, casual, comfortable is still a thing, right? So there's a way to do that and still actually have it look pretty polished. You can take it all the way down to an athleisure look. You can take it all the way up to, you know, like a polished jeans look. There's stuff to do there. All right. Okay. So next, if we go back here, the next trend we're going to talk about is, we'll do straight leg jeans next. So for straight leg jeans, these guys were fun. I was a very late adopter. I was with skinny jeans too. I was like, no, never, no. Let me actually get back to this view. So I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Okay, like skinny jeans alone. I was like, no. And then when I finally got into them, I was like, we're wearing these forever. Like my body shape is just like so flattered by skinny jeans, right? And I was like, yeah, forever and ever. I still wear them. I really don't see me like not wearing them. I don't know, maybe that'll happen. But I say that to say if you're feeling pressure to like stop wearing skinnies in favor of straight leg or whatever, it's not like a Sophie's choice. Like you can continue to just like wear them both, right? So in terms of like a trend thing, what's interesting, right, is like skinny jeans for me are not a trend anymore. They're just like how my body looks best in jeans and they're super easy to wear. So straight leg jeans are a trend. So I'm enjoying wearing them now because they feel like they're in, meaning like, I mean, not that like you have to participate, right? But like, it feels fun to me to be like, I'm wearing what people are wearing these days. Whereas like I can wear my skinny jeans anytime, right? So just to kind of make that distinction, that's how I'm thinking about them. It's just like a fun thing to try. So it's just like, oh, I'm popping in for a few, and I love that gray jacket. Yeah, aren't those cozy casual layers super cute? I know, so good, so good. And yes, did I put a leather jacket into cozy casual layers? I did, y'all. It's cozy and casual to me. They kept selling out in my size. Nordstrom canceled my order 3 separate times. We're not talking about it. I'm still salty. Okay, so moving on, straight leg jeans. Let's talk about it. Like who are they for? Who are they not for? All that stuff. Again, like I'll go into more detail about these in like some subsequent trainings for y'all, since, you know, these will be around for a minute. But in a nutshell, what you want to be thinking about is what wash you're getting. So like light wash, dark wash, gray, black, whatever. The waist on them, make sure that they're high waist. that has been like a game changer for me. Cause like, I don't know about y'all, I'm bigger on the bottom. That's my body type. If you've worked with me or been following me if you've been following me for a bit, you know that I style 5 different body types. Bigger on the bottom is one of them. And so carrying all of my fun in my hips and my thighs as I do, like I remember 90s era, even like early 2000s era, like denim in like a boyfriend jean or a straight leg style was horrific on me. Like the denim was stiff. It wasn't like high enough up, and then like my butt was big enough that like it just like pulled the fat, you know, it was just constantly like around like my hip bones, and I'm like tugging it up. There was no stretch, and so I just looked really like boxy. Like I wanted to be a boyfriend jeans wearer, okay? I thought it was adorable. Also, what I will mention, you know, I'm always preaching about it's not your size, it's your proportions, right? At the time that I, you know, because sometimes we're like, oh, well, those are like, you know, like thin people can wear X, Y, Z, and like I can't, you know, like y'all, at the time I was trying to wear a boyfriend jean, I was this big, okay? Like that rationale of like, oh, well, like if you're smaller, like everything looks good. Like, no, my body proportions were not right because I still, no matter what size you are, no matter what weight I was, my body shape doesn't change. I am always going to have more on the bottom than I do on the top. Which sometimes on some days I'm like, is interesting because like we got a lot going on the top these days, but you know, she's keeping pace down there. But so, you know, it's like, it wasn't like a size thing or like, you know, skinny people get to wear what, like, that's not, it's just not a thing. They were horrible. I'd be so jealous of like my friends who could pull off this boyfriend jean thing. So straight leg jeans now, which are boyfriend jeans, but well, it's fine. We like to rebrand things. They're higher waisted. They have stretch. Like it is a brand new world in denim. Okay. So if you've always been interested in this style, but it didn't work for you in the past, give it a go. Give it a go. I'm going to share my screen again and I'll show you guys what I've picked out. So here on Like to Know It, I have quite a few styles for you. And then, like I said, if you're on my email list, you'll get the refresh of my catalog where I'll have actually like even more than this. Either way, shop away, y'all. I've selected them with you guys in mind. So they're cute, right? Like, I think they're cute. The most common question I get with these is like, what shoes do I wear? I know, it's a thing. So I have another video, probably like a month and a half ago, all about like how to style your straight leg jeans with shoes and like what to think about. So if you want to go back in my Facebook group, you're more than welcome to, or on my YouTube channel. I can dig up the title, but it was a goodie. If you're on Instagram, there's a picture of me sitting at a desk with straight leg jeans on. That's the one, and there's an Instagram live. Okay, so here is trend number 2. Very wearable for almost everyone, right? When I say almost, I'd say the only people who are going to struggle a little bit more with this trend are going to be folks who are very, very hippie, right? So I'm bigger on the bottom, but I'm actually not particularly hippie. I don't actually have a ton of curve in my hip. So I have more of an appearance of being straight up and down, which works because the jeans are supposed to be straight up and down. If you are very hippie, meaning like, you know, you're bigger on the bottom, but you carry a lot of your fun on your outer thighs, right? Because like there are some people where, you know, they might be bigger on the bottom, but it's actually their butt, right? That's more where my bigger on the bottom comes from. It's actually not the outer thighs as much. So if that is you, you're going to want to balance the bottom of that jean by actually having it like not be super wide in the leg opening. So you're actually going to kind of want to go more with what looks like a skinny jean, but with a slightly wider leg opening. So you're technically in the straight leg jean realm, but you don't want something super wide because it's just going to hang off your hip. It's just going to look awkward. So I'd say that's my tip for that. Pretty much anyone else can wear these. I know petite gals are like, me? And I'm like, yes, you. It's all about how you style them and like what you're doing with your shoes, how you're getting some of your height back. If you're rolling them, if you're cuffing them, like y'all be fine. And then our last but not least situation here is the Chelsea boot. I'm sorry, the lug sole boot. So these are actually Chelsea's, but lug booties are everywhere right now. I personally think it's because like the 90s are back again in style. And so we're like, ooh, like I need a pair of like Doc Martens, but like I don't want to go all the way there. So designers are making a lot of lug sole boots. So here we have a Tory Burch boot. And then what I also love, so these are $249 on sale, $249.90, which is like not bad at all for Tory. I mean, they're like $100 off. And then we also have this guy. We have a Caslon for like $60. It's like, look, pick your poison. I got these in this color. They used to have black. Now they just have these. And they're sitting for me at home. I got all my stuff in from the sale right before I went to New York. And I was like, I am not going to mess with opening up these boxes. So those are waiting for me. I wore a lug sole boot last. I have a pair in black, and I wore them last like winter. Like winter-ish. They were so great. It was so great to be able to have something that like made me feel like I got dressed, right? Because like the style was there, even though I was still wearing like joggers and a sweater, right? So like get into the style. As you can see, you can do them super polished like these guys. It's more of like an equestrian, like a classic look. Still have a lug sole at the bottom. You can do kind of the more traditionals like this. You can do these with like more, even more of like an almond toe. These are waterproof by Blondo. I love the waterproof. I love waterproof in general in a boot. Like if it's cold enough to be wearing boots, it's probably going to rain or snow. And then you can do like a big old heel if you want it, right? Like get into like a Gwen Stefani, Lady Gaga moment. Like, listen, you do you. You do you. So those are the three most wearable trends that I think are like just super easy to get into from a trend perspective of like, you guys know how I am. Like I enjoy a trend, but I also work with like real everyday women who like want to look good, want to be confident about getting dressed, want to know what's relevant and what's in, but are not like super concerned with like, for example, what I'm seeing in New York, which is handkerchief shirts. Y'all, can we just moment of silence? Half of New York City looks like the old one. It just is, it's taken me back to charmeuse. When and why would we ever wear charmeuse again? Do y'all know what I'm talking about? That like kind of satiny, but it wasn't satin, like shiny lingerie tank top situation. I can't do it. But yeah, so there's that plus like a handkerchief. I mean, like an actual triangle top. Woo! I don't know how I'm gonna get any older than this, you guys, because I'm already like these whippersnappers out here are trying my patience with this fashion. Coming back. Anyway, the 90s are here, for better or for worse. And I think lug soles are a really easy way, if you do like a Chelsea boot version of them, to like get into it without like getting into it if you're not like going to go full on reality bites, which if you want to, do what you need to do, right? But that is my advice. Straight leg jeans, lug sole boots, and then like a cozy, comfortable like layer situation that you can still make look polished. Super wearable, easy trends. Hope that was helpful, you guys. Always let me know in the comments. Y'all can DM me as well. And let's pop over to comments. If you guys have questions, pop them in. All right. Do Blundstones count here? I would say yes. I mean, Blundstones are, I'd say they fall a little bit more into like a work boot category, because they're like a beefed up Chelsea boot, right? But like because of the thickness of the sole, they look a little bit more like work booty, like utilitarian, not utilitarian, utility. Thank you. Just like a utility boot. But given the sole, right? Like absolutely, I think you could absolutely like have a Blundstone, wear that, and be like, I am participating in this trend for sure. And then Laura asked, do we still wear heels? Someone asked me this today. I had lunch with a good friend of mine. And she was like, do you wear heels anymore? I feel like everyone's like, are we doing this? It's like we're all looking for like permission to just like stop doing it. So I do. However, I stopped wearing anything with like a heel like this at least 5 years ago. Like at a certain point, like in New York, just walking, I was like, no, no more. People told me that would happen. They're like, oh, you're young, you wear heels. I'm like, it's not because I'm young, it's because heels are great. And like, yeah, no. Like at a certain point, I was like, why? I used to wear like a 3 or 4 inch like stiletto-ish heel like 5 days a week, y'all, just prancing around this great town. That stopped. So I've been like transitioning my whole heel life to like a block sole or a wedge, like an espadrille, or what, like just a thicker platform for some time. Okay. So when I say I wear heels, like I prioritize comfort. We always have this thing in our heads that's like style and comfort are mutually exclusive, right? Like if I'm stylish, I'm uncomfortable. And like I unsubscribe. I opt out. I do not believe that needs to be the case. So do I wear a heel? I sure do. Do I wear it often? I sure don't. Is it comfortable? Yes, ma'am. So I am still wearing heels. You don't have to. The other thing I would say is there's platforms everywhere now, right? We have platform sneakers. Those have actually been around for a while. Like not like the big chunky ones now are like a thing. You don't have to go that extreme. But even like a slip-on sneaker from Steve Madden has a sole like this, right? Like you would have on like Vans or like a court tennis shoe. Like it's a thicker sole, right? Than like being like all the way flat. Those are still around. So I think there's a way to kind of wear maybe not like an elevated heel, but a platform, right? The other way I'd say that you can do that is like shoes are just chunkier in general. Like that's like very on trend now. So like Birkenstocks are back, right? Like things that just have like a lot of visual weight, which in terms of like balancing out different proportions. So I think it's a personal. I mean, you tell me, are you going to wear heels? Do you want to wear heels? I mean, I still like them. I still love a good like block heel sandal. Like I think they're fun. And in the summer for sure, like an espadrille, like I'll get into it. I wore some wedges when I went to Cabo. They were cute. So yeah, personal preference, but I'm still here for it. Just be comfortable. That's all I gotta say. All right, this has been fun. Next week and over the next few weeks, we'll do, like I said, like getting into some of like the nitty gritty in these styles. But like I said, I wanted you guys to have information on like, these trends so that if you're shopping the Nordstrom sale, you have an idea of like, do I want it? Do I not? Is it for me? Like, how do I style it? Like all of that stuff. But we'll get more into specifically like, how do I style? Like, what do I wear it with? Like a wear now, wear later situation in the next few weeks. As always, if y'all have questions, post them in the group or post them on my page, and I'll incorporate them into the next live. Okay, hope you guys have a really good weekend. Stay safe out there, y'all. Miss Delta's here, and like it's a Deborah Cox moment for me. Like nobody's supposed to be here. How did we get here? And yet here we are. So stay safe. Love y'all, mean it. Bye.